Israel's military says it is expanding its operations in southern Gaza and is battling Hamas with snipers and tank fire in the Khan Yunis area. The United Nations has warned 150,000 people in central Gaza have nowhere to go after being urged to leave. Good evening, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. Government accepts excessive force was used during the protest at Lalitpur's Balkumari. Cabinet decides to provide compensation of 1 million rupees each to the families of those killed in the incident. Dispute between government and internet service provider companies may halt internet services. Government stops providing foreign exchange facility to the companies for not clearing outstanding amount. Turkish police arrests 189 people suspected of belonging to the Islamic State militant group in raids across 37 cities and provinces, says it thwarted Islamic State plans to attack churches. And Lalitpur City FC lifts the second edition of the Nepal Super League title, defeating Dhangadi FC 3-2. Dhangadi suffers another loss in the NSL final. On the use of force and firearms. The meeting of the Council of Ministers held earlier today decided to provide 1 million rupees each to the families of the deceased. Sujan Raut of Dailek and Birendra Shah of Acham were shot and killed yesterday during the protest held by youths demanding for the participation in language test for employment in South Korea. The government has decided to bear the cost of treatment of all those who have been injured in yesterday's incident. Likewise, the Ministry of Home Affairs has recalled Chief District Officer of Lalitpur Rudra Prasad Pandit, and the police headquarters has recalled Chief of Lalitpur Police Range SSP Siddhi Bikram Shah. The ministry has decided to suspend DSP Umesh Raj Lamsal, who had been assigned to handle the Balkumari protest yesterday, and Bodhraj Danwar, Personal Security Officer of Minister for Fiscal Infrastructure Prakash Jwala. The government has also decided to relieve EPS Korea Branch Director Guru Datta Subedi from his post. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal was briefed this morning regarding the Balkumari incident by Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister Narayan Kaji Shrestha, Secretary of Home Ministry Dinesh Bhattrai, Inspector General of Police Basanta Kumar, and Inspector General of Armed Police Force Raju Aryal, as well as by the Chief District Officers of Kathmandu and Lalitpur. Likewise, the Premier received information regarding the incident from Minister for Fiscal Infrastructure Prakash Jwala. The Constitution of Nepal ensures the right to stage peaceful protest and raise voices for the general public's demands to be addressed. A number of such protests have turned violent in the past. As per the legal provisions, local administrations and concerned security bodies are responsible in handling such situations. There are several instances where police have fired shots during peaceful protests, which have drawn the security body into controversy. Yesterday's Balkumari incident that involved human casualty is just a representative case. Youths had been staging protests demanding for the participation in the language test for employment in South Korea for the past few days. Security personnel were being mobilized to prevent any untoward incidents. However, the situation in Balkumari escalated yesterday, which resulted in the death of 23-year-old Sujan Raut of Dailek and 22-year-old Birendra Shah of Acham. Questions have been raised on this use of force by the security body, causing human casualties. Police had opened 8 rounds of fire in the air. The main reason for the police to fire shots yesterday was the arrival of Minister for Fiscal Infrastructure Prakash Jwala. It has become a matter of investigation whether the minister insisted on going ahead through the protest site or the security officers lacked information regarding it. It has been said that the police opened fire after the vehicle with the minister on board was attacked by the protesters. Questions have been raised on the use of lethal weapons instead of rubber bullets and tear gas to bring the situation under control. This is not the first incident caused by weak information system of the country's security body. A similar incident had occurred in Gongabu's bus park last year. The conflict between the bus park management and drivers was not solved on time, and a police vehicle was vandalized while a robbery took place at the Lotse Mall. In another incident, police had opened fire during protest by employees of Simrongarh municipality in Bara, which had resulted in the death of 21-year-old Lakshmi Mukhia earlier this year. Likewise, 3 individuals in Guras municipality of Dailek were shot dead by police on 15th of July earlier this year during the protest held by government staff demanding for extension of their tenure. These are just some representative cases where clashes between police and protesters had resulted in human casualties. Former police officers have attributed the rise in such incidents to mobilization of security personnel who possess deadly weapons and lack of security education among the chief district officers who are responsible for issuing the order to open fire. The District Security Committee, led by Chief District Officers, and the Central Security Committee, led by the Home Minister, are responsible in assessing the situation of all districts. Although the rising security challenges in the country are being assessed, the authorities have failed to identify their nature and formulate proper plans to address them. There is a general call on the government to review the type of weapons that are supposed to be used during peaceful protests and violent ones. Protests had been held at various places of Kathmandu over the killing of 2 youths during the protest in Lalitpur's Balkumari yesterday. Youths today staged a protest in the capital's Maitighar, which had been declared as restricted area by the government. Likewise, ANNFSU, the student union of the main opposition CPN-UML, also held a demonstration in front of Ratnarajya Lakshmi campus in the capital's Pradarsani Marga. In the meantime, family members of Birendra Shah and Sujan Raut, who had been killed in the Balkumari incident yesterday, have demanded to form a committee to conduct judicial investigation. The family members of both the deceased had reached the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar earlier today and had held a dialogue with the Premier. They have demanded to take stern action against the perpetrators and declare both the deceased as martyrs. They have also demanded the government to make arrangement for their employment. The government has not been providing foreign exchange facility to internet service provider companies since the past 9 months. Due to this, internet services across the country is said to be halted from tomorrow. However, the regulatory body, Nepal Telecommunications Authority, and the Ministry for Communications have yet to address this issue. Dispute between the internet service providers and the government regarding the outstanding amount has continued for a month. The Ministry for Communications had stopped providing foreign exchange service to the internet service providers, citing their failure to pay the amount of 4% royalty and 2% Rural Communications Development Fund. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
मल्टिमिडिया र सामाजिक सञ्जालबाट पनि प्रचार गरेर यसले पनि पर्यटक प्रबन्धनमा सहयोग पुर्याउँछ।
गंगा सागर भयो, रतन सागर भयो, यो सबैलाई बाहिर हामीहरू देखाएर प्रवर्धन गर्न सक्छौं।
संस्कृतिलाई चाहिँ ठाउँ र परिवेश अनुसार अगाडि उठाउन सक्यो भने राम्रो हुन्छ।
लुम्बिनी जस्तो ठाउँहरुमा चाहिँ यसलाई चाहिँ कसरी चाहिँ हामीले विदेशमा यसको चाहिँ प्रचार गरेर पर्यटक भित्र आउने त्यसमा हाम्रो सरकारले छिटोभन्दा छिटो पहल गर्नुपर्छ।
हाम्रो देशमा धेरै मठ मन्दिरहरू छन्, लगायतका धेरै मान्छेहरू मनहरू लोभ्याउने खालका त्यस्ता दृश्यहरू छन्। हामीले विदेशी पर्यटकहरूलाई पनि आकर्षित गर्नलाई त्यस्ता कुराहरू कलाहरूलाई चाहिँ हामीले लोप हुन दिन हुँदैन।
सबैको धर्मअनुसारको मठ मन्दिर हुन्छ, त्यसलाई चाहिँ सबैले बढावा दिएर पर्यटनलाई आकर्षण गर्न सकिन्छ।
प्रचार चाहिँ हाम्रो सरकार मार्फत अथवा हामीले चाहिँ आफैले पनि गर्नुपर्छ।
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you, what do you think of majority students with foreign academic qualification failing license tests? 63% voted for A, weak education, 22% voted for B, inadequate preparation, and 15% voted for C, strict examination. Here's today's question. Why is there delay in the construction of railways linking neighboring countries to Kathmandu? Your options are A, geographically challenging, B, lack of resources, and C, confusion in process. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the international update. Raids across 37 cities and provinces came after Turkey said it thwarted planned Islamic State attacks on synagogues and churches. Over 220 people have been taken into custody in 2 days. Turkish police arrested 189 people today suspected of belonging to the Islamic State militant group in wide raids across 37 cities and provinces. Turkish Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya made the announcement in a social media post today. A day earlier, Turkey said it thwarted Islamic State plans to attack churches and synagogues. Raided cities included the capital Ankara as well as Istanbul, Antalya, Bursa, Diyarbakir, Gaziantep, Izmir, and Konya. Yerlikaya shared images of alleged IS members being handcuffed in their apartments during the night raids. The raids come after Turkish officials announced the arrest of 32 suspected Islamic State members. Police said they were allegedly involved in plotting an attack on the Iraqi embassy. The militant Islamic State group claimed in 2017 a deadly Istanbul nightclub attack on New Year's Eve, which left 39 people dead. Back to national news. The government has not been providing foreign exchange facility to internet service provider companies since past 9 months. Due to this, internet services across the country is said to be halted from tomorrow. However, the regulatory body, Nepal Telecommunications Authority, and the Ministry of Communications have yet to address this issue. Dispute between the internet service providers and the government regarding the outstanding amount has continued for a month. The Ministry of Communications had stopped providing foreign exchange service to the internet service providers, citing their failure to pay the amount of 4% royalty and 2% Rural Communications Development Fund. The internet service providers have not been able to pay international companies that have been extending internet services to Nepal since the past 9 months. Those companies have warned of cutting internet services from tomorrow if the internet service providers in Nepal fail to pay the amount. The authorities back home, meanwhile, have yet to address the issue. The Nepal Telecommunications Authority has urged the service providers to pay the outstanding amount to the government in installment, while they have maintained their stance of not paying the dues. According to the Telecommunications Act 2053, internet service provider companies have to pay the amount for royalty and Rural Communication Development Fund. The 56th report of the Auditor General had shown the outstanding amount after the companies failed to pay the dues. However, the Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament in the Nepali fiscal year 2076 had directed not to impose royalty and Rural Communications Development charges, saying that they were not applicable to sport, annual repair, technical issues, and monitoring, among other non-communication services. However, the ministry has maintained that the companies must pay the amount according to the Act. As per the Telecommunications Regulation 2054, those apart from security taken from consumers, sale of equipment, direct and indirect tax are considered as total income, of which the company must pay tax to the government. The Public Accounts Committee had said that sport charges must not be included in the total income. Meanwhile, the Nepal Telecommunications Authority says that the ministry must make a decision whether to implement the suggestion. The internet service provider companies have not paid 2.42 billion rupees of tax to the government. Meanwhile, they have yet to pay around 3 billion rupees to international companies for the import of internet services. The Nepal Telecommunications Authority, meanwhile, has corresponded with the international companies, urging them not to cut internet services in Nepal at the moment.
Sports News.
Lalitpur City FC has lifted the second edition of the Nepal Super League title, defeating Dhangadi FC 3-2. In the title decider played at the capital's Tripureshwar this evening, Afiz Olawale opened the scoring for Dhangadi in the 38th minute. Imo Ezkiel scored for Lalitpur in the 45th minute to level the match at 1-1. Dines Henjan scored in the 51st minute to give Lalitpur a 2-1 lead. Later in the 58th minute, Imo secured his second goal to extend Lalitpur's lead to 3-1. Imo of Lalitpur FC has now become the top scorer of this season with a total of 6 goals. Ahmad Hijazi scored for Dhangadi in the injury time, and the match ended with Lalitpur winning the title with a 3-2 win. This is the second consecutive defeat for Dhangadi in the finals of the Nepal Super League. Lalitpur City reached the final by defeating Kathmandu Razors in the eliminator and Pokhara Thunders in the second qualifier after securing 2 wins, 4 draws and 2 losses in the league stage, finishing second with 13 points. Meanwhile, Dhangadi, with 3 wins, 4 draws and 1 loss in the league stage, secured 13 points, securing the top spot, defeating Pokhara Thunders in the first qualifier to reach the final. Meanwhile, captain of Lalitpur City FC, Ananta Tamang, has been declared the best player of the Nepal Super League this season. Ananta has been awarded a cash prize of 200,000 rupees. He had been declared the man of the match twice during the league stage. Likewise, Geoffrey Marseille has been declared the best goalkeeper. He had maintained clean sheets in 4 matches of the league. He conceded only 6 goals during the Nepal Super League this season. Likewise, Rohan Karki of Dhangadi has been declared the emerging player of the tournament. Rohan scored a total of 9 goals for Dhangadi during the tournament. Lalitpur forward Imo Ezekiel, who scored 2 goals in today's final, has a total of 6 goals in his name, and he has been declared the top goal scorer of the tournament. He has been awarded the Golden Boot. All the best players of the tournament have been awarded a cash prize of 100,000 rupees each. Birganj United, that had crashed out of the tournament in the eliminator round, has received the Fair Play Award. Nepal Police Club lifted the Nepal Pro Club Championship title, thrashing Parsa 11 by 100 runs. Sagar Dhakal shined with the ball in Nepal Police's victory, grabbing 4 wickets. In the match played at the Narani Cricket Ground in Birganj today, Nepal Police elected to bat first and posted a challenging total of 145 runs in the allotted 20 overs, losing 8 wickets. Karan Keshi top scored for the Police Club, smashing 40 runs off just 17 balls and remained not out, hitting 5 sixes. Arjun Saud also contributed run a ball 26, while opener Dilip Nath added 17. Saifullah Ansari and Pawan Sharaf, with 2 wickets each, were the leading wicket takers for Parsa 11. Chasing a victory target of 146 runs, Parsa were bowled out for a paltry score of 45 runs in 11 overs. Sagar Dhakal was instrumental in bowling out Parsa for such a low score as he grabbed 4 wickets. Opener Anil Shah was the leading run scorer for Parsa with 13 runs. None of the other Parsa batters reached double figures. 4 Parsa players were out for ducks. Meanwhile, in the 3rd place playoff match played today, Nepal Army Club defeated India's Wonders Club Noida by 6 wickets. Nepal Army's Shahab Alam was adjudged the player of the tournament, while Karan Keshi was declared the man of the match of the final. Koshi Province have advanced to the qualifiers of the Prime Minister Cup Women's National Cricket Tournament, defeating Lumini Province by 7 wickets. Skipper Rubina Chetri exhibited an all-round performance in today's last league match, helping Koshi Province book a place in the qualifiers, securing the 2nd spot in the points table. In the match played at Mulpani Cricket Ground today, Lumini batted first and posted a below-par score of 69 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. At one stage, Lumini were 1 wicket down with 37 runs on the board in 8.4 overs. Lumini then witnessed a batting collapse as they managed to add 32 runs by losing 8 more wickets and managed to post just 69 runs. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.